Welcome, guys. Welcome. All right, on this Sunday afternoon, I was like thinking to myself, I got a quick mod I gotta do, and I was like, let's go ahead, let's live stream this, right? So that's what we're doing. We're going to be live streaming here. Now this mod is actually really cool, and I've already started to take it apart. And this is a backlit screen for the Wonderswan Color. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Wonderswan Color. I think it's an underrated console, and again, a lot of it's because obviously it was never released here. So a lot of people don't have any type of nostalgia for it here in the U.S. Maybe you do, maybe you imported it, but yeah, it's one of those deals where it's kind of like a almost a forgotten console for a handheld. And I think it's a fantastic console. So much so that years ago I went ahead and installed a front light mod. Now I already started with this. I already took out the front light mod. So I'll kind of show you briefly what it consisted of. So there was some white Kynar wire that I used. This is again forever ago, where you literally have a light bar. So literally had a light bar, and you would have the glass screen in front of the original screen. So there you go. So we're not going to need that anymore either. So it's very interesting because I'm a big fan of, well, as you can see behind me, a lot of handhelds. I love handhelds, and I like to improve the screens in them, since these screens were, for the time, in some cases were decent, but nevertheless, without any type of backlight, it's hard. And front lights were all right for a while, but now we've grown into the point where I ordered a kit, and this kit actually has a backlight screen. So I was pretty excited about that, actually, because it's $50, same as like if you bought a Neo Geo Pocket backlight screen, which is very prevalent right now. Same as if you bought a lot of the other screens for handhelds, for the most part. I know some McWill screens are a little bit more money, but understandable too. It's great quality. So I bought the kit, and it all came in one little like cubby, which I thought was pretty cool. Right, it kind of keeps everything together. It was in an ESD bag. We already took it out because I wanted to make sure everything was there. And so what came with the kit was the there it is. There it is. Was first, it came with a tool, again, a Torx, to go ahead and get out the screws. Because again, on a Wonderswan Color, the screws are literally Torx. It's fun times. Comes with a new screen, which I'm still unsure if I want to use it or not. I'm a big fan of keeping the originals when I can. So, because sometimes, see, the color's like a little off there. Sometimes the actual font can be a little off, so I don't know. I mean, awesome they included it, considering. You get a flex cable, which is going to attach from the board to the actual motherboard, so from the essentially the LCD driver here, which is under here. So there you go. Then they have the new backlit screen, some insulating film, which is good. Again, essentially just to keep the parts, any type of electrical parts, from touching anything metal or anything it shouldn't touch. And then, of course, I don't even know what this is. It's a sticker, I guess. And some Kynar wire. They include 2 little pieces of red Kynar wire. Now, there is some soldering in this mod. It's not a lot. Again, nothing major at all. So it should be very easy to do for anyone that really wants to go ahead and do this mod, which I recommend. I mean, I think if you're a Wonderswan fan, it kind of is a no-brainer. So you can sort of, check out, essentially, if you like the library. Because it is a fantastic console, considering. I think it is. I really do think it is. All right, so again, the reason why I was like originally starting to go through it and stuff is that I was going through it, and then I realized that there really was like not a lot of information on the internet about this stuff. Again, they included some install instructions in there on their like AliExpress page, but that was it. Like, that was it. So there's not a lot. So I figured I'd kind of walk through here. It's my first time putting in a backlight in a Wonderswan's color, so we're gonna hope that it works at the end, right? We're gonna hope that at least turns on. So I guess really the first thing to do is essentially go ahead and solder in these wires. So again, the wires are actually going to power the screen, and this is going to be off of each terminal. So I'll kind of move this over to the side for a second here. So it's going to be actually off of each terminal on the battery here. The cool thing about the Wonderswan Color is it literally uses one AA battery. That's it, one AA. So you're going to have one that's going to go on this terminal right here. So again, I'll use the tool to point it out. So one's going to go on this terminal here, and the other one's going to go on this terminal here. Again, one is positive, one's negative, essentially. So easy stuff to do. Yes, I did bring up my flex pen. Okay. So hopefully easy stuff to do. Shouldn't be bad at all. Get a little flex in there. I got my iron at about, what is it at, 340? So there you go. It's very thin wire, by the way. Very thin wire. So I'm going to kind of pre-flood the spot first with some new solder. And then get that kynar in there. There we go. And then do the same to the other side. They even pre-strip the wire. Not that it's like, wow, what so incredible, but I didn't expect it. They already have that strip, so it was kind of cool to see that. And so this goes on the bottom of that terminal. This one's going to go on the top of this terminal. Now, one thing that's they say in the instructions, and it makes sense, is of course this is going to be going over to the other side of the board. So this terminal one you can put around like that, and that's fine. Just obviously be careful of the buttons and stuff, and we'll get back to that. But this one, we actually have a hole right near the battery. I don't know if you can see that very well, near the battery terminal. So you can actually slip it right on in there. Whoop. And then fold it over and solder to that top terminal. So, I'm going to kind of put it in place essentially. There you go. So hopefully all I'll have to do is go ahead and press down on it and it'll be in place. Alright. Again, a little more flux. Again, these are small joints, so I'm just using a quick flux pen. Kester No Clean 951. Let's flood that joint a little bit. So can you still see? Yeah. There we go. Nice sizzle, sizzle. So I should be able to just go ahead, add that wire right into that fresh solder on that terminal. There we go. Boom, boom. So far, we are doing great. So I'm just going to clean little 91%. Do a quick clean of any flux residue. That's all. That's all we're doing. There you go. And technically, we're already done with any type of soldering in this mod. So that's not bad. That's not bad. See? So it's very... I'll tell you what, with the front light mod, I did have to actually solder to some of the pins on the cartridge port. I did take that off. But essentially, you know, that's just how it was done. That's how it was done. All right. So once we've got this through the holes and all that good stuff, again, we can kind of, you know, more or less now solder it to the actual LCD board, which is right here. So again, the only soldering left, I should say, is no longer on the motherboard. It's onto this board right here. So it's actually going to be this one is going to go to battery, and this one is going to go to ground. So again, you could cut these down. Again, I'm going to keep them at length since that's what they provided. So I'm just going to keep it at that. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and flood these pads. There we go. There we go. And then we can go ahead and we can put it right in there. Look at that. Sizzle, sizzle. Sizzle, sizzle goes the flux. Okay, so similar here. And being right-handed, I'm gonna. There we go. And again, as I always say, maybe called Kester No Clean, but that does not mean you don't clean it. If you're thinking this is going to be a short stream, yes, because now we are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're officially done with any and all soldering, which is pretty good considering what we've done so far, honestly. Wow, yeah, like that's it for solder points. That's all you got to do on this mod. So it's definitely a little bit different than the front mod there. So now it's going to be all fitment. So I'm going to turn this so it's kind of this way here, so you can see and follow along as well if you're following along. This flex cable is going to go down here. And that one's going to go to the actual board itself. Just FYI there, it's going to go to the board itself. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to leave the original screen in. I just, something about it, I just love doing that instead of replacing it. Nevertheless, you know, if anything were to happen or later on I wanted to replace it, it's not that hard to replace this screen at all. This glass. And it is glass, which is good. Again, I prefer glass over the plastic. So that was kind of cool to see when I saw that. I was like, oh wow. All right, so they have this insulating film. So we're going to put that on now too, because what that's going to do is essentially, you know, keep anything from possibly shorting out. You know, what are the odds of it shorting out? But you know, you never know, right? So the insulating film is going to go on the back. They included 2 in my kit, but it seems like they only put it in their picture on the back. So it's kind of like, okay, like I guess, you know, we'll do that. I mean, I'm probably going to put it on the other side of the board as well. But it literally, I love how it literally says insulating film. Like, it literally says that. Which, you know, it's really nice that they thought of that. I will give them that for sure. Here you go. I'm going to have to pick this up in order to line this up at least decently well. But yeah, like normally in an install like this, I would go ahead, I'd put Kapton tape, but there is literally no need with insulating film. Which, excuse me, I don't know why they didn't just put that there, but to begin with. And one thing they don't really specify in the instructions is they do take off these little pads here. So I'm going to take them off. I'm going to save them, again, so I can always go ahead and bring it back to the original stock state, you know, if I ever wanted to. But nevertheless, yeah, so that's something that do bear in mind. There's a little bit of destruction you have to do in that case, is ripping these off. So you could use a heat gun, but where I am right now, I don't have my heat gun near me. So you can tell I'm not in the usual room, my usual soldering room there. So Instead, I'm just going to kind of rip them off. And then the other insulating film is going to go here. And the reason why is because, you know, if you've ever looked at this board before, there's a ton of vias. Look at all these vias. So again, you don't want any of those vias going up against the driver board here, the LCD driver board. So this is going to go right on like that. I do love that in big letters they have it say insulating film. Okay, so that should be right about where it's going to go ahead and meet the glass. And we still move it if we needed to. Alright, and then of course, we are ready to put it in. So I'm going to go ahead and put the buttons in first. Now I cleaned these out when I did that front light mod a while ago. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and I already cleaned it out, so we're good to just put these bad boys in. I already looked at them. They're still looking good. Still looking fantastic. There we go. Excuse me. So now we have the select start. There we go. Over here. And power. Power is the orange one. So that's going to be all the way on the, on the left if you're looking this way. And then we're going to have this one. Goes right there. Bada bing. So we should be good to go ahead and put this in here. Now there's really no retention bracket I'm noticing, and for the front lit mod I did have to cut this bottom bracket. Now you're still going to have that on yours, you're going to have that bottom bracket on yours, but nevertheless it looks like when you put it in, you know, you just line it up and it should fit in there. Again, for this one, for me, I'm going to kind of line it up at the top, do a quick look over. Does that, yeah, it looks like it'll fit the screen well there. So if you just kind of push it up at the top, it should be in good shape, which is good. Nice. So yeah, that'll fit again right underneath the buttons there too. Again, quick check. Yep, that'll line up really well. Nice. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. It's a moment of truth. I'm just gonna wipe the screen just a bit. Okay. I'm gonna peel off. There's no turning back, guys. There's no turning back. Okay, put it in there. Alright, next comes this board. So the way this board's going to sit is actually like so. So with that in there, that in place, we put this, which I did bring up some Kapton tape in case I wanted to go ahead and tape it in place. But it looks like it'll all kind of press fit. And these little guys are how do you adjust the brightness and stuff. So they're just copper pads. So you can just go ahead and put them, tuck them on the top. You could tape them, I guess. Like, do they have any type of, you should tape them actually. Oh, there they are. Okay, they do have some adhesive on the back. Otherwise they'll be moving around on you. There we go. So I'm going to put mine over here. So one over here. And the other kind of right near it. I'm able to peel it off like I did before. It just essentially like fell off. Possibly. Possible. Let's see. There we go. Need a little fingernail under there. There we go. Then I'm going to move this wire out of the way for the moment, so I can put them, you know, semi-near each other. The nice thing about this shell is that it's see-through, so I can actually go ahead and see the two pads I gotta hit. If I'm like, oh man, where do I install those pads? Just gotta look over. Okay, so then essentially after that's done, this is gonna go on top of everything. Yeah, these wires are long that they included. I might actually cut them down after, but for now I'm just going to tuck them in. So like I said, it's a short stream until, of course, we have the playoffs here in the US going on a little later on today. Okay, so just kind of tucking things over for now. Of course I want to try it after as well. Do a fold. So the pins actually face up, so I'm going to do a fold kind of like what you see here. Again, you're going to go under the black holder there, you know, that holds it in place. Okay, so you want to go ahead and make sure that it gets all those pins covered, and then you can push it down. Now you could use your fingernail, or you could use, you know, a pair of tweezers if you need to. Make sure it's completely seated in there. And then just push down on both sides. Both sides there. Okay. And then so it should lay kind of flat like this. Kind of how I ended up folding it. Put this there. We're going to put our battery in for now. We're going to put the cartridge in. That'll kind of hold it somewhat together. Obviously, I'm going to screw it together in a second. But let's see how good it looks. Moment of truth. Hey, look at that, huh? Looks great. This is so fun. I love Mr. Driller. It looks so good. This backlight looks so good. Can you see? Can you see it very well? How good it looks. Looks good. There you go. So let's check out some colors. Oh, black and white. So there you go. Get some like cool colors there if you want to do. I don't think I'd ever use those colors personally, but again, they're there if you'd like them. So that's cool. Oh, I saw it coming down too. I saw it coming down too. Oh. Thinking I could sneak there. Thinking I could sneak. That was close. Thanks for watching.